Hey, good morning and happy Monday. I hope that you had a good weekend, and I also hope that your family is continuing to stay healthy. I have a few announcements today. The first thing is that these are our Zoom meetings for this week. So you can see that we have a Zoom meeting at 10:30 a.m. on Monday and also at 10:30 a.m. on Wednesday. Both of these Zoom meetings will be ending before 11, so it'll be easy for you to go to Zoom meetings for math class and then straight to Zoom meetings for science. The other thing is to make sure that you're checking out this week's weekly bulletin. And there's a fun activity where you can look to see if you can find the cartoon of Mr. Essien. And I also recommend that if you have younger siblings, you check out a TV show that we've started doing that's called SF Loves Learning. If you just Google this, you should be able to find the TV show I'm talking about. It's on KTVU and also on YouTube. So just look for SF Loves Learning. All right, let's get started with some math for today. Reminder to start by grabbing something to write with and a notebook or piece of paper so that you can write down your warm-up. Our warm-up for today is called Jump Rate, and the date today is April 27th. The question says, how many times can Miss Roberts jump in 20 seconds? And we're going to calculate my jump rate per minute. I'm going to start by showing you a video. In the video, you're going to practice counting my jumps for the timer of 20 seconds, and then we'll record that down on our warm-up, and you'll use that to then calculate how many jumps I can get per minute. All right, so for example, as you're counting my jumps, it would be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's easiest to count when my feet hit the bottom. So watch my feet as I'm jumping. That's how you'll keep count. All right, George is going to help us start a timer for 20 seconds.
Google start timer for 20 seconds.
Okay, 20 seconds. Starting.
Time.
All right. It's a little bit hard to count, but I got 45 jumps per 20 seconds. So hopefully that's the same number that you got. I'm going to write down 45. If you got a different number, you can use the number that you got. But when I tried to count it, I got 45 jumps. So now we're going to use that to try to figure out how many that would be per minute. And just a reminder that a minute is equal to 60 seconds. All right, so please pause this and then solve this problem on your own first. All right, so I started by thinking that if I have 20 seconds and I'm trying to get to 60 seconds, then that means that I'm multiplying the 20 seconds by 3. So basically, I have 3 times as much time in a full minute than I did just in the 20 seconds. So I can multiply this number by 3 to figure out how many I would get in 60 seconds. Oops. And I'm going to write that down over here so I can solve it a little bit easier. So I have 5 times 3 gives me 15. 3 times 4 gives me 12 plus 1 is 13. So I get an answer of 135. And I'm going to make sure I label that as jumps. And that would be jumps per minute. So let me actually write my answer over here so I can see it. This is a little bit hard to write with just one hand. So I'm writing 135 jumps per minute. That is the rate. I'm going to draw a box around that so it's really easy for me to see where my answer is. So again, the rate is 135 jumps per minute. All right, we are now going to move forward to our practice problem for today. So we're going to practice using a table to do this kind of problem. So we're going to now fill in the table with that same information. So in 20 seconds, I got 45 jumps. Take a moment and see if you can figure out on your own how many I would get in 40 seconds and how many I would get in 60 seconds. All right, hopefully you had a chance to try that on your own. So again, we're looking for patterns. To go from this to this, I'm multiplying times 2, or in other words, I'm adding 20 seconds. Anytime I add 20 seconds on this side, that means I'm able to get 45 more jumps on this side. So I'm adding, I'm going to take this off actually so it's a little bit easier to write. So I'm adding 45 on this side. Okay, 45 plus 45 is 90, so I would expect to get 90 jumps if I had 40 seconds. And then again, if I give myself another 20 seconds, I'm able to get 45 more jumps. 90 plus 45 is 135. So that's how many I would expect to get in in 60 seconds or 1 minute. Take a moment to make sure that you have this copied down as an example, because the next step is the really cool part. For our checkpoint this week, you are going to actually be doing a similar thing to what I just did in the warm-up. So the first step is you're going to choose your own exercise, count how many you can do in 20 seconds, and then make a table. I'll show you an example of this, and then I'll come back to this so that you can actually copy down these questions to be ready for the checkpoint. All right, let's see the example.
Recording.
All right, so for our checkpoint this week, you're going to actually be choosing your own activity that you want to do and then counting how many times you can do it in 20 seconds. So you could do an example like what I showed in the warm-up with a jump rope. Right now I'm going to show a different example with jumping jacks, so you can choose one of those if you want. Or I also know that your PE teachers have been assigning you different exercises, so if you want to do one of those instead, you can. You'll be setting a timer for 20 seconds, just like George has been showing us, and then count how many times you do it in the 20 seconds timer. On Friday, the cool thing is then we're going to be choosing a song that matches our warm-up, or that matches our exercise. I'll show you more about how to do that later, but for right now, choose an exercise and count how many times you can do it in 20 seconds. All right, let's do some jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Woo!